New York, London, or Los Angeles. The fact that she is the most wanted woman in the world means that there is a high price on her head. Big-time fences like Sotheby's and Christie's this year auctioned off her cultural cast-offs. Her signatures sold for $200, while a Jean-Paul Gaultier bra from her Blonde Ambition tour went for over $20,000. Then there are the bounty hunters. There were offers of $350,000 for the first picture of her daughter Lourdes, while one enterprising chap hid in the rafters of Dornoch Cathedral in Scotland in an attempt to film the christening of her son Rocco last year. A look through her file shows clearly that since childhood, Madonna dreamed single-mindedly of becoming a celebrity. "I've been provoking people since I was a little girl. I'm very interested in being alluring," she once confessed. As with so many showbiz divas, it started with the small stuff. A show of exhibitionism at family gatherings, hogging the spotlight at school concerts, always being the center of attention at college dance performances. By the time she moved to New York, she was on the slippery slope, rapidly moving from recreational self-absorption to flirting with the hard stuff, avidly sniffing success. Pretty soon she had pawned her dance career for a hit of fame, never really coming down from the high of seeing her first single go to #1 in the charts. From then on she was hooked, utterly addicted to fame, mainlining on mass adulation, graduating from one-hit wonder to singing and acting sensation, celebrity superstar, and, finally, universal icon. Of course, as always in these cases, there were victims. In the global village, she outraged neighborhood elders by going around half-dressed and encouraging other girls to do the same, scandalized the closed minds within the Catholic Church with her open sexuality, and was always provoking the stuffier contributors to the parish magazine. As a serial controversialist, she had, however, many supporters in the community, especially among blacks, gays, and young women. For all the years she has spent stirring up trouble and scandal, it remains difficult to draw an accurate portrait of the real Madonna. A consummate mistress of disguise, she is always cleverly hidden behind an assortment of masks, cloaking herself in the mystery of her mythology. If she were a painting, she would be an abstract by Picasso, says one former lover, the rap star Vanilla Ice. She has so many faces. When people got really affronted at her behavior, as when she published the controversial sex book, she always had an explanation. She claimed she was being criticized because she was a woman, or that what she had done was meant to be ironic, or that no one quite got it. If one of the escapades she was involved in went wrong, one of her films failing, for example, she always blamed someone else, usually the director. For 2 decades, she has been causing mischief and mayhem and getting away with it. Equally, she has not done badly out of her years of cultural agitation. The girl who once sprayed graffiti on the walls of the establishment now owns one of the biggest houses in the neighborhood. Yet, even though she seems to have undergone a metamorphosis from iconoclast to institution, Madonna likes to think she is still a rebel at heart. And maybe she still is. A glance around her New York apartment yields a few signposts in the quest to pinpoint her personality. As she sits curled up on her elegant sofa, Madonna cuts an unlikely figure as the individual at the center of the longest cultural manhunt in history. At 5 foot 4 1/2 inches tall, the half-inch is important to her. She is of average height, with striking, indeed mesmerizing hazel eyes, an insolent set to her mouth, a slight gap between her 2 front teeth, and fine alabaster skin. Her much-photographed face ranges in expression from sexy to intelligent, bored to amused, and every permutation in between, in a moment. Even though she may be casually dressed in $20 sweatpants from the discount chain Kmart and a pair of cheap flip-flops, she holds herself in a way that suggests command and control, that she is a woman used to being in charge of herself and others. A conversation merely reinforces that feeling. Madonna goes straight to the point, discarding the irrelevant and unfocused. "Okay, Bert, what have you got? Are we doing good?" she used to say to her former business manager, Bert Padell, mocking his Brooklyn inflections. With no time for nor interest in small talk, she would get directly down to business, nibbling on a rice cake as she fired 1,000 questions at him. It is much the same in other encounters, pleasant, matter-of-fact, to the point.